Hello everybody and welcome back to the British Pokemon League Show. I am your host Matt Starr. I hope you are doing very well today. We are here with the week 2 action of the British Pokemon League Premier Division. You saw all of the debut week last week. If you missed that, you can go catch it on our YouTube page. There's the rerun there for you if you want to take a look at that. But yeah, we are still in very early days of the British Pokemon League Premier Division. Still plenty of Pokemon left to play, as we like to say around here. You're going to get sick of me saying that by the end of the season. It happens every season. Anyway guys, let's take a quick look at the league table and what happened last week. And well, let's just say there was wins, there was losses. If we're going to do the Michael Owen commentary on it, some teams won, some teams lost. At the top there, on game difference, of course, and, well, alphabetical order, Scuba Squirtle, Skary Skrelp, Bulu Boys, Miami Heat, Space City PC, all getting 2-0 wins in their week 1 matches. Scuba Squirtle's 2-0 on Kyoga Canucks, Skary Skrelp getting the 2-0 over Newcastle Thunderous, Bulu Boys getting the 2-0 over California Bastiodons, Miami Heat getting the 2-0 over South Croydon Saws, and Space City PC getting the 2-0 over Crymych Coalossals. Then Deimos Deoxys getting the 2-1 win over Season 2 and Season 3 champion Aaron T. Marshall as Inglorious Surface. So, you know, on recent seasons, Aaron usually only loses once during the season. So has he got that loss out of the way now? Or is this going to be, you know, Aaron's new thing? He loses more than one time in a season. You know, Aaron's old thing was losing week 1. So we'll see on that one. But obviously, very early days when it comes to the league table. Have to really take that with a pinch of salt. Could all change in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, just keep an eye out and let's take a look at the schedule for this week. So kicking things off for this week's show, we have got Kirky and his Skary Skrelp taking on Oma and the California Bastiodons. California Bastiodons obviously losing out in 2-0 fashion last week. Very unfortunate circumstances with the RNG, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And we got to see the debut of Kirky finally using his fabled Melmetal against the Newcastle Thunderous, and really putting in a shift there against you know, what was in fact a bit of a tough matchup. You know, that Incineroar really matches up well against, obviously, into the Melmetal, you know, getting those Intimidates off. But Kirky just seemed to really have Dave's number with the Alchemy Decorate next to the Melmetal strat. Then we have got Miami Heat taking on Space City PC. It is a repeat of our Season 4 winners final from playoffs. Obviously, last time out, Space City PC getting that win over Latvian as Miami Heat to send himself to the playoff grand finals and dropping Miami Heat and Lat down to the losers bracket. So Lat are going to be out for a bit of revenge in that one, that is for sure. Then match of the week, it is the South Croydon Saws taking on Newcastle Thunderous. Both these teams losing out in week 1 will be trying to get their season underway and start, you know, getting on that winning trail. You know, Dave typically does tend to make a bit of a slow start and pick it back up mid-season, so we'll see on that one. But Chris, with a pretty much tough matchup out in week 1, we're looking to try and get another win over Dave after getting the win last season over him. Then it is the Bulu Boys taking on the Kyoga Canucks. A first time meeting between these two. Obviously, Kyoga Canucks getting the promotion from the TBPL Championship last season. Bulu Boys starting things off with a win last week, as we said, over the California Bastiodons. So the Bulu Boys be trying to double that win total and, you know, keep that unbeaten streak going. Then we have got another, well, not another first time matchup. These two met all the way back in Season 3, the season that Niels was relegated. Niels, now promoted back to the Premier Division, takes on Aaron and Inglorious Surface once again. Aaron, as you said, you know, is going to want to bounce back from that loss in week 1 to Deimos Deoxys. And speaking of Deimos Deoxys, they take on Crymych Coalossals in the final game of this week's show. Again, another first time meeting between these two. You know, Deimos Deoxys are a brand new team to the TBPL this season. Dr. Dave not starting off things the way he would have wanted to last week, but certainly shot a very interesting and amusing Gothitelle strat last week from Dr. Dave. So I think we're going to see some more spicy tech plays from our favourite Welshman. And, you know, Deimos and Lumaris will be looking to try and, as you know, again, grab another win under their belts and keep that unbeaten streak going. But anyway, guys, on to our first match of the week. It is the Skary Skrelp taking on the California Bastiodons. Very interesting tie in this one. Very much looking forward to, you know, two teams that sort of, one seems to really thrive under Trick Room. The other, I mean, definitely does have a Trick Room mode, but can that Trick Room mode really counter the Skrelp's Trick Room mode? Obviously, Melmetal, Alchemy, Audino, Pezag are all going to work super well in that Trick Room mode. Whereas Bastiodon's main sort of Trick Room, sweeper is going to be that Moa, which, it's not going to be able to do a whole bunch to that Melmetal, whereas Melmetal certain has moves to hit it back. But yeah, there is a lot of Intimidate on that Skary Skrelp team. Most, notably the Landorus Therian. I think there's a good chance that Landor Therian comes, flying moves for things like Hitmontop, Riolu, Medicham. You've got ground moves, stab ground moves there as well for Chandelure, Klefki, Mawile. Really good sort of whole host of moves there for Landorus Therian to sort of go off. Obviously, things like the Ludicolo, Basculin are going to be able to hit it back for super effective damage, but I think Landorus T may potentially be a good bring in this one, as well as something like Hydreigon as well could potentially work really well on this one, up against something like the Chandelure. And Hydreigon does get a few, obviously gets Flamethrower, gets a fire move, so going to work really well into that Mawile and Klefki, but got to watch out for that Chandelure and its Flash Fire ability. Of course, we may see Kirky stick to that Melmetal Alchemy strat that worked so well in week 1, get that Trick Room up with Audino, double switch out, bring in the Alchemy Melmetal, start decorating and double Iron Bashing and just ripping things to shreds with the big Metal Man. It's very exciting to see Kirky with this mon. It is his favourite, as he told me. So be interested to see if he can let it go off once again. Orma, you'll be looking, for the Chandelure, Medicham, Mawile to be the main damage dealers there. Noivern, Riolu, Klefki, Hitmontop, all going to be good setup mons. You've got Hitmontop there with a very good fake out mode. Potentially going to be really good against something like the Audino to get that stop that Trick Room from going. Of course, the Wartortle does have fake out over there on the Skary Skrelp team as well. So it's and follow me more importantly. So could be a very good bring for Kirky and his Skrelp. But guys, let's get it going into this one. It is a Skary Skrelp taking on the California Bastiodons. Let's get into this one. Thank you again to Ted from the Championship Division for recording this game and the next game. Skary Skrelp going to kick this off with the Sableye on Audino. So Sableye also with the fake out. And Orma with the Noivern and Chandelure lead. Orma does love a good Chandelure lead. Can't lie. Typically, you will see him lead that with with the Hitmontop. Audino goes for Mega. Imprison comes out from the Sableye, and there's the Taunt from Noivern to stop any of those pesky status moves going off. Sableye getting taken down 2. It's Sash Trick Room that does go up for Audino. Chandelure's Heat Wave not quite doing enough of cutting the biscuit and cost Noivern and Chandelure. Chandelure not particularly slow, but not particularly fast. Noivern though, especially very, very speedy. This thing is not a very good trick on. In comes the Skrelp from Kirky and his Skary Skrelp. Very interested to see what this thing does. We've had Kirky raving about it quite a bit in the Discord, so it'd be very interesting to see what this thing does, because it does get adaptability. Didn't go over the teams there. Is Skrelp, Wartortle, Alchemy. The Scald from the Skrelp's going to take Chandelure out. Oh my god, Melmetal is in there as well. Audino getting a dazzling game off on the Klefki. So the Chandelure goes down. It's Noivern, Klefki, Hitmontop, Ludicolo, and Medicham in the back for Orma's. Noivern switches back in. 2 turns of Trick Room still to go. Skrelp switching that. Comes in the Melmetal Protector coming out from that Noivern. There's the T-Wave going to get that paralysis on the Audino as well. So Audino not moving that turn with 1 more turn of Trick Room to go. So 1 more turn for Melmetal to potentially do something here. Switches out into the Sableye. There's a T-Wave, so the Melmetal is going to get paralysed as well. It's very unfortunate. Out comes the Tailwind from Noivern, and now no Trick Room setter up on the field for Kirky, but he does at least have the 1-1 advantage to work in his favour. We've not seen that 4th and final mon from Orma just yet. And now in comes the Medicham. So there it is, potentially the Mega Medicham there as well as the flinch. Goes off in the Klefki thanks to do that. Fake out, high horsepower. Not going to quite do enough to take out the Klefki, but to get some really good damage off on it for sure. Klefki lives to fight another day. Are we potentially going to see some sort of screens grow Klefki? Out comes the Mega Medicham. There is the fake out from Mega Medicham. Quash not going to work on the Sableye. There's the foul play to get rid of Sableye, and Orma gets one on the board. Of course, Melmetal taking that flinch. One more turn of Tailwind to go. In comes Ordino now, still in its mega form. Both paralyzed as well, so definitely a risk that, you know, RNG could not go in Kirky's favour here and flick off the outcomes to reflect. Baby doll eyes coming out from Ordino. The Zen headbutt is going to get rid of Ordino, and out comes double iron bash. Oh, the reflect definitely saving Medicham's skin there. And now it is all up to Skrelp and Melmetal to get the job done for Skrelp. Thank you, I am staying hydrated. Medicham on very, very low HP, but still alive, more importantly. Has had an attack drop, but with that pure power ability, of course his attack is double, so still going to be, you know, having a whopping amount of physical attack. T-Wave going to get blocked from that protect. Out comes a high jump kick, it lands, it's going to take out the Melmetal. Melmetal goes down to that, and now it's all up to Skrelp. Just one Skrelp and a dream. I think this is going to be a game. This is going to be game. Oma's going to take this game numero uno and take a 1-0 lead over Kirky and his Skary Skrelp. Down goes the Skrelp. Oma takes game 1, so into a game 2 he goes to Kirky with a, you know, mountain to climb from there. But, you know, I think a few T-Waves, paralysis really working in Oma's favour there, but Oma playing it really well and, you know, saving the Medicham right till the end until he could get the job done. This time leads out with the Chandelier. Medicham has already revealed the fake out on Medicham now as well. Ordino and Sableye for Skrelp. Chandelier again. You're always going to see Chandelier leading when it comes to Oma. If you know, if it wasn't Chandelier, it would be Metagross and Aerodactyl, but they are banned this season. So Medicham does coverage to Mega, as does Ordino. Fake out goes into that Ordino, so no Trick Room this time. Going to be the faster fake out as well. And there is the Heat Wave. Oh, the Sableye just about hanging on again. Definitely a roll there because it took it down to 1% last time, but oh man. Kirky will be counting his lucky stars on that one. There was no critical hits coming out, otherwise Sableye would have been gone. But another chance for Trick Room to go up this turn. Gonna have to do something spicy with the Ordino here though, because I can potentially see Oma going for the double in just to stop that Trick Room going up. Klefki going to switch in though. Protect coming out from that Ordino smash there, and out comes the Will-O-Wisp from Sableye. Don't know if that was a good read or not, but if it was from Oma, very, very good read. Down goes Sableye, and Oma with the 1-man advantage. Now in comes the Skrelp. We saw the destructive power of this thing in game 1. Is it going to take more names in this game number 2? T-Wave going to get that paralyzed on Ordino. Ordino does manage to hang on after that Heat Wave. Scald's going to take out the Chandelier again. Ordino, is it going to get paralyzed? No, it doesn't, and Trick Room is going to go up. And now in comes the Ludicolo, so you would expect that thing to be Swift Swim. Klefki probably aiming to go for that Rain Dance, and the fake out's going to go into Ordino all the same. Sunny Day going to go, so that's going to stop the, you know, any kind of oh, but the Sludge Bomb's going to take out the Ludicolo. That adaptability coming in clutch for the Scrub. And now it is a 3v2. He didn't need the Sunny Day up. Doesn't go for the Scald. Down goes the Ludicolo. Fake out is going to get rid of Ordino. Skrelp's going to get paralyzed, going to take a bit of hit as well. So it is Life Orb Skrelp as well, which is also helping that adaptability damage. Doing so much to Medicham there. And now in comes the Melmetal. 2 more turns of Trick Room to go. And Medicham and Klefki not in a very good position to take this one. I think Kirky is going to pick up this game number 2. I don't think Oma was just understanding the destructive power of this Skrelp. That's 2 kills this game. Potentially going to have another one. T-Wave going to miss on the Klefki. Sludge Bomb's going to get rid of the Medicham. Skrelp takes out another one. Double Iron Bash. Is it going to get the job done? No, the Ben might take out the Klefki. It does, and Kirky is going to tie us up at 1 apiece. Into a game 3 we go then. So doesn't even need the big metal man. He's got Skrelp. Everyone needs a Skrelp. Oma going back to his game 1 lead of the Noivern, and Chandelier then reveals the sash on the Sableye, of course, and obviously the Megastone on Ordino. What does Orma do this time? Potentially go for damage, do you think? He's, Sableye is always going to be fake outing here, you would expect. And there it is, fake out into Neuven. Heatwave not going to do enough to buff. It does manage to land on both those. This time taking Sableye down to 3%, but does get the ban, which is going to take Sableye, but it's going to give Kirky the chance for a free switch into the Skrelp again. Ordino said does get the Trick Room up, and now Neuven in a little bit of a spot. Sat there is the slowest thing on the field, which are coming up. Goes to the switch into Klefki. Protect's going to go out from that Neuven. Scald. Oh, gets a good amount of damage done on the Klefki. Dazzling Gleam doing a little bit of chip away to Klefki as well. 3 more turns of Trick Room to go. Kirky just 1 Skrelp and a Dream. Neuven going to switch out in. Comes the Chandelure. It's going to be very interesting as a reason that Sunny Day does go up. So it's going to lower the damage. Klefki's going to go down to that burn damage from the Scald though. Or in fact, no, the Ordino's going to get the kill with the Dazzling Gleam. Chandelure taking a little bit of a hit from that Dazzling Gleam as well. So it's now 1 apiece. 3v3. And now in comes the Mega Medicham then. So at least a fake out opportunity here for Orma. Try and stall out that Trick Room a little bit. If you can stall it out, then potentially has a way into this game. Out comes the Mega. There's the Protect on the Ordinos. A good read there from Kirky. Sludge Bomb though. Oh, gets the critical hit on the Mega Medicham. Skrelp gets another kill. Out comes the Heatwave from Chandelure. Is going to take out the Skrelp though. So it's now a 2v2. Chandelure getting a little bit of revenge there. 1 more turn of Trick Room to go. Of course, the Metal Man is going to be coming out to play. And it's going to be Neuven and Chandelure versus Melmetal and Ordino. I don't know. Is Neuven going to really even have anything to hit the Ordino with? Protector coming out from the Neuven. Try and stall that to come up. No Protector would seem on the Chandelure. High horsepower. Going to get rid of it. And now is Neuven in the 1v2. Trick Room has at least ended. So Neuven going to get that, have that speed control on its side. Potentially be able to do something here. I would think there's probably just a Draco Meteor coming Melmetal's way. I don't see it doing enough damage, and then you're lowering the amount of damage you can do to them both to end things off. And I would think that Melmetal's going to just get the ending kill here. There is the Draco Meteor, just nowhere near enough damage to Melmetal. Ice Punch gets the job done. 4 times weak to ice, and Kirky is going to take that game number 1 in a 2-1 fashion. So Kirky moves to 2-0, making a flying start. Doing so well this season is Kirky. And these first 2 weeks, had a little bit of an iffy season last season, going out in the first hurdle in Pros, but seems to mean business in season number 5. And Skrelp, that's all I can say about that match. Skrelp, MVP. Unbelievable scenes here in the TBPL, as we would say. GG's to both players. Orma doing very well to get that game number 1. I think if you're just able to stall at that Trick Room, in those late games, then potentially has a better chance of taking that. Having the weather control with Klefki, really important to him. But unfortunately not able to do it. Kirky gets the win, and Orma moves to 0-2. Going to be looking for that first win next week. But on to our next game then, and it is going to be the repeat of Season 4 Winners Finals. Miami Heat taking on Space City PC. Both with 2-0s in week number 1. Of course, Latvian getting the 2-0 over the South Korean Soz. Meme getting the 2-0 over the Crymych Coalossals. And we just saw how good Inteleon, Arcanine, Rillaboom are on that team. But more importantly, how good that Drapion is. We saw how good it was on Aaron's Inglorious Surface team last season. This thing is just insane. Absolutely nutty is Drapion. The one weakness, the weakness to ground, and next to Rillaboom means, you can't EQ. The grassy terrain is going to lower that ground type damage. And they work really well to synergize together like that. And I said, Inteleon, with it being so fast, with that extra crit chance as well. Drapion as well with that sniper ability. Both got so much damage output. You've got 1 strong physical attacker, 1 strong special attacker. You know, that Space City PC team is really rocking. Clefable as well, not one to shake your head at as well. You know, good support Pokemon, but has decent attack options as well. I believe Clefable also gets Belly Drum as well, which is just insane. And of course, Gallade on that Space City PC team. I think we mentioned it last week. You know, that thing gets its Mega. Follow Me comes out for Clefable, Swords Dance Gallade, and your opponent's in a little bit of a position, we'll say that much. It's also got the Tornado's Theory in there as speed control. You know, obviously that thing gets Tailwind, no priority Tailwind like the other Tornadoes, but all the same, still a strong Pokemon, strong special attacker as well. Has also got Screens and T-Wave Volt Switch on that Rotom as well. It is the low DT pick, but do not sleep on that Rotom. It's just slightly faster than the other Rotom variants. But yeah, really strong team from Meme. And over on Latvian side, you know, he always manages to do this. He builds a very Latvian team, but he's got a team that works not only in Trick Room but also has a fast mode as well. You know, you've got Zeraora, which is the fastest fake out one in the game, and it's just fast in general. Of course, we've seen him running that Typhlosion with Choice Scarf Eruptions last season, but you know, it's got the Trick Room mode there as well with Kecleon, Trevenant, Camerupt, which obviously can Mega, Sork as well, and Seeking. Mighty Ina potentially there as well for the Intims. You know, has got Crobat, which can set up the Tailwind as well as Togekiss with that Follow Me potential as well. And you know, as we saw last week, Latvian did run that thing with Super Luck. You know, get those extra spicy critical hits. So yeah, this team just sort of it runs well under both speeds, and I think that's going to be difficult for Meme to deal with. It also makes it a bit harder to predict what Latvian's going to do, but I think it's always a safe bet that Zeraora and Togekiss are coming to a game. You know, he likes to have that fake out, likes to have that Follow Me and Tailwind and damage output that Togekiss has. Of course, Togekiss is a bulky monster, very bulky monster. Yeah, you know, Kecleon as well with that protein ability makes it an interesting prospect to deal with. You know, can change its ability based on what type of move it uses. And of course Gyarados as well, another mega option on that Miami Heat team, like he needed anymore. You know, it can change, not only change its type into Water Dark, but you know, gets the Intim as well. But yeah, anyway guys, I'm stop rambling. Let's get into this one. It is our winners final for Season 4 rematch. Miami Heat, Latvian versus Space City PC, Meme Base God. Let's do this. So, Meme with the Rotom, Inteleon, Gallade, Clefable, Rillaboom, and Arcanine. Latvian, he's got Togekiss, Trevenant, Zeraora, Camerupt, Sork, and Crobat. So there, Crobat next to Zeraora. There is Togekiss in the side, I lie. Zeraora there, as you said, has got that option for fake out. Crobat has enough focus, so cannot be fake outed. Not that there is fake out over there on Space City PC's team, but Crobat does have access, of course, to Tailwind if you wanted to get that speed control up. Of course, Gallade does get Trick Room, so Latvian gonna have to be careful of that in case he Trick Rooms his Tailwind. Zeraora putting in the work last week against South Croydon Swords. Of course, that Plasma Fist does change any normal type moves into electric type moves. Zeraora with that Volt Absorb gonna really take full advantage of that as well. So something that Meme's gonna have to be careful of if using any normal type moves. Just working out how to do this. One Gallade does go for it to Mega, goes to the foul play, just Spark Plug on Zeraora, gets some good damage with the Brave Bird, is going to get rid of the Mega Gallade. It doesn't even get a chance to move. Out comes the Plasma Fist, even with the Rotom Resist, does a huge chunk of damage. Out comes the Rillaboom, gets that grassy terrain up, and you're obviously going to have option for that fake out now as well on Zeraora. Of course, no real point going for it on the Crobat. That's not going to do anything apart from get a little bit of chip damage. We do love that fake out chip damage here in the TBPL though. Zeraora already putting in the work. Crobat taking a big kill there as well, giving Latvian the Mon advantage. Some Megas, the Mega on Meme's team are also bent as well. Really not a lot it can do to the Crobat here, but a grassy glide at Zeraora may be the play. Swaps out, in comes the Inteleon, then Zeraora also switching out, brings in the Togekiss, can see the Grassy Glide coming. That's a great read there from Latvian. Tailwind goes up for the Crobat as well, get that speed control, and yeah, brings in the Togekiss now. Said got options for Follow Me. Could also come out with an Air Slash as well, which has a good high crit chance if he's running Super Luck. Good damage output in there, of course. Inteleon, very, very frail Pokemon, but you'd like to think that is running Focus Sash, as Meme did last week. Out goes the Rillaboom, in comes Rotom, Brave Bird comes out, oh, Rotom just about hanging on, could see the Brave Bird coming, so good read there from me. Dazzling Gleam is going to get rid of the Rotom. Inteleon managing to hang on, a Snipe Shot, going to take Crobat down to 2%, Crobat somehow living that. Now in switches in the Rillaboom against us, now a 4v2, Meme with it all to do in this game number 1. Now does have another potential chance for a Fake Out here. Fake Out into the Crobat could be the play, just, you know, gets that little bit of damage to take it out. Whether, you know, Ice Beam or Snipe Shot is going to be enough with the Inteleon, I wouldn't have thought so. I think Togekiss maybe just that little bit faster. There is the Fake Out into Crobat, does take it out. Dazzling Gleam though, oh, gets the critical hit as well on Rillaboom. Rillaboom managed to tank that all the same, but gets the critical hit. And now it is all up to Rillaboom. Rillaboom and a Dream against Zeraora and Togekiss. Zeraora going to be able to get the Fake Out here potentially. And Latvian barely breaking a sweat in this game. 1 gets the Fake Out into Rillaboom. Air Slash going to get rid of it. And Latvian takes this first game in a 3-0 fashion. Crobat the only casualty on that one. Latvian really coming into the season, meaning business into game 2 we go. So Latvian last week we saw ran a bit of a fast mode to begin with, and then went trickery mode in the second game. So we may see him employ a similar tactic. Rotom and Gallade leading the line again for Meme. And Zeraora and Togekiss again, so Latvian not switching it up, just keeping, you know, sticking with what works. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So no Brave Bird potential this time. It was Crobat in game 1, wasn't it? Not Togekiss, my mistake. So he has switched it up with Togekiss, but he has brought out another flying type all the same. So good potential damage output into that Gallade. Electro Web going to come out as Zeraora is immune, so it's going to drop the speed of the Togekiss at least. Play Raw Fist, going to miss on the Gallade. That could be huge as Thunder Punch. Going to take Togekiss right down. Dazzling Gleam going to come out. Oh, it gets the critical hit on the Gallade. Gallade just about clinging on for dear life, and Rotom as well doing the same. Arcanine going to switch into that Gallade slot, gets the Intim off onto Zeraora. More positive out because of Follow Me. Zeraora, of course, can take no damage to that road, but going to get rid of the Togekiss, so 1-man advantage to Meme. Plasma Fist comes out, and Arcanine not going to take too much of a hit from that. I'm called the Championship Show is on Wednesdays. So Meme does start off with the mod advantage, a good switch out there. And in comes Sork then, so very interesting bringing Sork out, no Trick Room up, so Sork obviously does have very high physical attack. Rotom still kicking around. Electroreb's really just not doing much here, and you know, potentially just buffing Zeraora's HP back up if it takes any hits, so very risky plays here. Rotom going to switch out, in comes the Gallade, then protecting out from the Arcanine. Plasma Fist gets blocked by that protector, good reads there from me. And it is a double in from Latvian as well, so that works even better. So Gallade going to be able to get that free switch in, not going to take any hits. Very, very brave there, switching in the 4% Gallade. Has got the attack drop on Zeraora, but Gallade surely going to still be much slower. Zeraora going to switch out, in comes the Crobat, then Icy Wind, going to drop the speed of Sork and Crobat. and Will-O-Wisp going to get the ban on Crobat as well, so that's going to work out pretty well for the for me, but not so much for Crobat. Arcanine going to get that Agua Berry procced, just about living that close combat sock, dropping its defenses. And now in switches in the Rock on Meme, playing it smart with the switches. In comes the Zeraora again, out comes the Rock Slide. Oh, good damage there on the Crobat. Crobat is going to get the Tailwind and some chip damage away to Zeraora more importantly, but all the Mons on Meme's team are pretty low HP. Does still have the Mon advantage, but it's hard to say whether there's any kind of advantage here, but Crobat on pretty low HP and does have the burn more importantly as well. Still got that Zeraora hanging around. That's really been the sort of the thorn in Meme's side in this game. The Zeraora has had that fake out, had the Plasma Fist, just had that potential. It's going to go the Plasma Fist into the Rotom. Rotom going to go down. Heat Wave comes out from the Crobat as a Heat Wave. Crobat goes down. Crobat takes down the Gallade. In comes the Arcanine and the Inteleon. Does get the Intimidate off on Zeraora at least, but that Inteleon's in a bit of a scary position now. Tailwind is up, and you've got the Zeraora facing down your Inteleon. If it is Sash Inteleon, then potentially there's a chance here, but if not, then Whelp is all I will say. Extreme speed from the Arcanine is going to get rid of Crobat, so it takes out a 2v2. The Plasma Fist is going to Orco the Inteleon with no Sash, and now Arcanine has it all to do against Sork and Zeraora. One more turn to go. This is going to be Latvian's game in a 2-0. Latvian taking absolutely no prisoners. Out comes Extreme Speed, is not going to do enough. Plasma Fist is going to take Arcanine down to 2%. Sork going to get the job done, and Meme takes down our Season 4 champion, Meme Base God. 2-0 fashion. Latvian means business. Also moving to 2-0 in the season along with Kirky and to the top of the league more importantly. 2 weeks, 2 2-0s. Is Season 1 Latvian back? Still too early to say, I would think, but he is looking very, very strong with that Zeraora at the helm of his team. GG's to both players. I'm sure Meme will bounce back next week. It's going to be out for revenge and wanting to get back to winning ways. We're on to our third game of the week. It is South Coalossals taking on the Newcastle Thunderers. So these two have come across each other many, many times since Chris's debut season in Season 2. And, you know, first few times they played each other, Dave seemed to have the measure of Chris and South Coalossals, but since then it has been all one-way traffic, with Chris getting the wins, of course, most recently, taking a very, very quick and brutal 2-0 over Dave and his Thunderers last season. Yeah, Chris cyberbullied Dave last season. That's all I'm going to say. Not the greatest of week ones for Chris and the South Coalossals. Having said that, week one doesn't tend to go his way very often. You know, go back to his debut season, losing out in week one to Toadstar Belgrade. So, you know, Chris is a bit of a slow starter, but, you know, gets that slow burn. And and then comes good come later on in the season. You really start to see the strength of the team. But, you know, again, a little bit like Latvian's team has got, you know, a team that works in two different modes. You know, you've got your hard tricker mode with, you know, your slow bro, Dusknoir, Lunatone or Beetle, more importantly, of course, Ursaluna, and I guess kind of Droladon as well. Then you've also got Tapu Koko with that Holucha. Of course, Holucha going to get that unburdened procs with Electric Seed paired with Tapu Koko. And of course, you've got Weavile, Ninetales there as well to block Chlorophyll on Victreebel as well. So yeah, a really, really nice, well-rounded team. A lot of typing going on in that team as well. Be very nice to see whether Ursaluna can be unlocked in this one. You know, facing down against Incineroar, it could get a bit scary. But as Ursaluna does, of course, have that ground typing, which is going to give that type advantage over Incineroar. And really, not too much Incineroar can do apart from in-team parting shots and all that jazz. And, you know, as we've seen many, many times, people do tend to bring Adrenaline Orbs against Dave. And, you know, tend to bring Mons with Defiant and competitive. None of that this time round in Chris's team, because that would be cyberbullying. Over on Dave's team, though, you know, had a decent start. You know, it didn't quite go as the way he wanted to against Kirky, but you know, I think just feeling his way around this team. There's a lot of new moving parts to this Dave team that he's not used to. You know, the Ninetales, Alola, and Arctozolt, especially. But good to see him with the Indeedee again. You know, we saw him with the Indeedee male last season. Got the Indeedee female this time round. Sometimes works against him when Psychic Terrain is up and he's got that Incineroar hanging around. But you know, I think he might have learned his lesson by now. And of course, he's got the Lantern and Octillery and Weezing Galar in that team again. You know, he loves those 3 Pokemon, Lantern especially. You know, and Shedinja can be a really, really good bring here potentially. You know, if there's no, you know, coverage on that South Korean Source team. Although if Ninetales does come along and come out to play, then Shedinja may be in a little bit of bother. But you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Guja Hisui as well. You know, we didn't see that thing last week, but maybe it makes its debut in this one. This thing is so incredibly bulky. It's actually scary. You know, we don't talk about the +6 button, okay? Yeah, I think Guja Hisui, I can't remember if it's defense or special defense stat is like 150 base, which is just insane. You know, so the Hisui variant of Gudra, of course, is steel dragon typing as well. A little bit like the mon sat opposite it, Duraludon, so only the ground and fighting type weakness. It really makes it a bit of a lethal bring if your opponent doesn't have a mon to deal with that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to stop my blabber run. Let's get into this one. It is the South Korean Source taking on Newcastle Thunderous. And Dave has got the Indeedee female, Galar, Weezing, Incineroar, Ninetales, Alola, the Arctozolt, and that Guja Hisui is in that team. Meanwhile, Chris has got the Ursaluna, Slowbro, Dusknoir, Hawlucha, Duraludon, and Ninetales then. So no Tapu Koko in the team. Duraludon on Hawlucha leading the line for Chris. Has got the Hisui, Guja, and Alolan Ninetales for Dave and his Thunderous. It was 150 speed F, thanks Chris. Chris switching into his Ninetales. He's going to read that Blizzard. Blizzard is going to hit both as well. 70% Blind Blizzard. And the Flash Cannon going to get rid straight away of that Alola Ninetales. Breaking Strike going to come out from that Guja series. Going to drop the attack on Ninetales and Duraludon. Not that they're really going to matter too much to them two. Both special attackers. Now in comes the Indeedee female. Brings out that Psychic Terrain. You know how lethal those expanding forces can be. So I think Chris's main objective here is going to be get rid of that Indeedee. Going to switch out and brings in the Incineroar again. Going to drop the attacks on the opposite side and going to proc the Adrenaline Orb on the Duraludon. There's the Heat Wave. Not doing too much to the Indeedee and the Incineroar Dragon Pulse. Taking Incin down just below half, but the Expanding Force gets a critical hit on the Duraludon and it's going to get 2 in 1. And all of a sudden Dave finds himself with a mon advantage in this one. Very, very strong start there from Dave as now in comes the Hawlucha and Ursaluna. So no Trick Room up for Crizzle. However, not in the worst position here with Ursaluna being in. Not exactly too much Indeedee and Incineroar can do it, apart from, you know, I said Incineroar could go, for a parting shot. I think Expanding Force is still going to hit and hurt. Is certainly going to hit and hurt on the Hawlucha. But Ursaluna, I think, should be safe. So all is not lost with no Trick Room being up. I think Chris knows that and was you know why I was fine with this. In comes the Guja Hisui, protects, comes out from the Hawlucha, sees the Expanding Force coming, does a decent chunk of damage to Ursaluna. The double edge is going to get rid of it. Good protect there from Crizzle. You know, knows the double spread move is coming in. A bit of an unfortunate switch out there from Devon. In comes the Incineroar, so it actually works out well. The switch out from gets that switch back in to drop the attack on Ursaluna. Incineroar on very low HP right now though, so and again doesn't really have a lot that can hit in to Ursaluna right now. Fake out under the Psychic Terrain. Dave makes the mistake. We've not seen him do that for so long, but he does a mistake. High horsepower, not going to quite take out the Guja Hisui, and Breaking Swipe now. Going to drop the attack on Ursaluna and Hawlucha, but I think it's too much for Guja Hisui to do now. Very unfortunate that one. Potentially, Dave is able to get some damage off on that turn, but down it goes. Psychic Terrain going to block that close combat from the Hawlucha. Going to get rid of the Guja Hisui, and Crizzle going to take this game number 1. Into game 2 we go then, and it is the Ninetales Alola and Guja Hisui leading the line for the Thunderous again. Hawlucha and Duraludon once again for Crizzle, so it's almost rinse and repeat from game 1. Are we potentially going to see that Ninetales switch in from Chris again? Or is Dave going to be predicting that? Wheezing Galar going to switch in, then some neutralizing gas going to come out. Hawlucha going to switch in, sees the Ninetales coming, so Chris does the same thing with the flash cannon. Oh, it's a really unfortunate switch in that slot. Guja Hisui going to go for that breaking strike again. I think he's always going for the flash cannon in that slot, and that's a very, very unlucky switch in. At least does reset the weather. It's got the hail up now, so going to be able to hit those blizzards. Chris now potentially can go for that rotation, switch out Ninetales and bring it back in a bit later on. Protect coming out from the Duraludon. Out comes the Blizzard. Going to resist with Ninetales. It's going to get frozen. It's immediately thought itself out. Gets the Heat Wave off. It's going to miss the Ninetales, and the Gujisui going for the Care Sensor, dropping its speed, buffing its attack and defenses. Then so smart stuff there from Dave. Gets a stat boost going. Out comes the Blizzard again, going for those freezes. Does a good amount of damage to Duraludon Ninetales because the Heat Wave is going to miss the critical hit on the low Ninetales. Flash Cannon not going to do too much of the breaking swipe. Going to get rid of Ninetales. Takes Duraludon right down to 60% HP. So there's now 3v2 Hail, doing a bit of chip damage away to both. And now in comes the Incineroar. Oh, Hawlucha going to take that Intim from the Incineroar, but it's going to proc the Adrenaline Orb on that Duraludon. Hawlucha with the Whitehead now, so Whitehead going to activate, going to reset its stats, but now Hawlucha gets his Unbend mode activated. Protect comes out from the Hawlucha, expecting the fake out. There's no Indeedee this time, so Dave doing the smart thing, leaving the Indeedee at home. Double Protect coming out. And Duraludon just about staying alive after that hail chip. Two v 3. Out comes a close combat. Oh, the Gujisui living that thanks to that curse. Really smart stuff there from Dev. Dragon Pulse. Oh, it hangs on. Snarl is going to get rid of Duraludon. Going to drop the special attack on the Hawlucha. Gujisui going to go for that breaking swipe. Oh, Hawlucha going to just do a home. Hail's going to take it out. And it's now a 1v2. What is the final mod on Chris's team? It is the Ursaluna. Of course it is the Ursaluna. It's the big scary bear. Versus Incin. Versus Gujisui. Again, does he really have anything to hit with? If there's a parting shot on that Incin, then maybe. But oh no. The Ursaluna is faster. The Rock Slide's going to take out the Gujisui. Flare Blitz going to come out. Not going to quite do enough to Ursaluna. Incin below half HP. Ursaluna going to get the job done. Fake out, of course, not going to work. I think Dave just accepting defeat. Chris gets the 2-0. And there it is. Dave with a second defeat in a row. Chris gets himself on the board with that win in 2-0 fashion. So GG's to both players. Yeah, Ursaluna just doing Ursaluna things, man. That thing is an absolute beast. I really thought, going up against the Incineroar was a little bit of a scary prospect. But, Chris managed to play around that. Hawlucha and Duraludon really putting in the work. Dave getting... Was it unfortunate? Was it a good read? Was it with that switch in game 2 with the Weezing Galar? Say what you want to say about it. It is what it is. I would imagine there's a Black Sludge on that Weezing Galar. I know Dave loves to run that item. If it's a Babiri Berry, maybe things go a little bit differently there. But, all in hindsight, is what it is. We homie stock. We move. Oh, was there a Coke advert playing through the match? I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, guys, on to the 4th game of the evening. It is my Bully Boys taking on Rylect and his Kyogre Canucks. A first time meeting between myself and Rylect. Of course, the Canucks getting promotion to the Premier Division last season. Losing out in their first week to their fellow promoted team, Niels and the Scuba Squirtles in 2-0 fashion. So Niels with a point to prove and try and get himself on the board. Bully Boys, of course, we got the win over Omen's California Bastiodons in week 1 in very fortunate circumstances. I must say, I will keep reiterating that I got very lucky. But yeah, this Canucks team, a lot of synergy going on here. You've got the extra drill, you know, that's going to work really well with that Gigalith. It's got Sand Rush and Sand Force. You know, works perfectly for the extra drill. Of course, not going to take any chip damage from that sand either. Spoilers, I didn't bring the Aselgo. And of course, Nidoqueen as well with that Sheer Force. Not going to take any buffs from the sand being up, but you know, I think just pairs really well in, you know, with those mons. Just in general, you know, again, like a lot of teams, there's some of the teams here, they only have one mode, or they're, you know, made to work under a specific setting. Rylak's team is mostly slow. You know, you've got your Chargebug, Spiritomb, Ashana, Gigalith, Deimos, you know, all made to go very slow because extra drill with that Sand Rush, and Latias is just ungodly fast. So there is a fast mode there to, you know, to counter any faster Pokemon. You know, potentially, you know, a fast mode coming here, but you know, the Bulu Boys team, my team, is more Trick Room centric. Of course, you've got the likes of the Reneragus, Chansey, Klinklang, Turtonator, Tangler, all relatively slow, and Primarina as well, not the fastest thing on the field. Mew, of course, with that 100 base stats across the board, is very much the Swiss Army knife in any Pokemon team. But again, a little bit of fast mode going on. You know, got a Selgor, which is something like 140 base speed. Tangela gets Chlorophyll as well, so if, you know, if Sun is going to go, you know, Mega Manette, of course, does get Sunny Day, could get the Sun going up that way. And Infernape as well with that 104 base speed, pretty damn fast over there as well. And of course, Infernape does get access to that fake out just like Mew does as well. Only the one redirect on this team as well with Tangela, obviously gets Rage Powder. So, you know, safety goggles, potentially a must if you're going to foresee that Tangela coming. But yeah, a lot of Trick Room going on here. Very, very slow team, but very, very bulky team as well. Can definitely see the Gigalith coming in this one just to try and counter that slow mode on that Bulu Boys team. But, boys and girls, we're going to get into this one. I'm going to stop my blabbering. I know you want to just sit and watch the match. You want to see my Bulu Boys play, don't you? Right, guys, let's get into this one. It's the Bulu Boys taking on the Kyogre Canucks. Bulu Boys with the Mew, Infernape, Primarina, Reneragus, Azurill, and the Tangela. Rylak kicking things off with the Gigalith and the Spiritomb. It's got the Latias, Chargebug, Excadrill, and Nidoqueen in the back there. So, you know, got the Gigalith. You would expect the Excadrill to be coming in the back there as well. Aquajet comes out from the Azurill, so it's going to give huge power to the Reneragus and the Weakness Policy. Out comes the Snarl. It's going to drop the special attack on both sides as well. Rock Slide going to come out from the Gigalith. Does a bit of damage, but the flinch on the Reneragus. Reneragus not going to get to move this time. Not going to get to see its destructive power, huge power, and weakness policy being procced all at the same time. That Wandering Spirit ability really working out on that Reneragus. But now, proved, you know, has been revealed to be the slowest thing on the field, so much slower than the Spiritomb, more importantly. Protect going to come out from that Reneragus. There's the foul play from Spiritomb, which would have almost certainly taken out Reneragus. Rockslide going to miss on that Zero, and Zero going to go for the Charm on Gigalith, going to half its attack. Sandstorm, chip damage going away on Azurill and Spiritomb as well. Primarina now going to switch in, expecting maybe a foul play. Protect going to come out from the Azurill. Good read there. Primarina going to come to retake that foul play. Toxic going to get blocked by that Protect on Azurill, so there is revealed to be Toxic on the Gigalith, more importantly. Helping Hand going to come the way of the Azurill, and Primarina going to get rid of the Spiritomb with the Moonblast, but out comes the Toxic from the Gigalith, so that, along with the Sandstorm, is going to be doing chip damage away to Primarina each time. Now in, switches in the Excadrill. Is it going to be Sand Rush? Is it going to be Sand Force? I think either way it's going to be faster. In this setting, you know, it's definitely going to be faster than the Azurill. But yeah, that very important chip damage away each time. Gigalith now going to switch out in, comes the Latias. Protect going to come the way of the Primarina. Wandering Spirit going to go now on to the Excadrill. Azurill going to take that Iron Head. It was never living that, and now in it switches in the Infernape. So Infernape said does have that fake out potential on there. Latias going to switch it in because the Gigalith can allow the Protect going to come out from the Excadrill, but the Fire Pledge and Water Pledge blocked by that. Protects the doubling, not quite working there, and Primarina going to take a little bit more damage for its troubles. Grass Knot, oh no, does half damage to Giggle of high horsepower though. It's going to miss on the Infernape Water Pledge. Going to take the extra drill down to its sash, and Primarina just slowly but surely going down that life orb damage, and the rock slide from the Gigalith going to get rid of it. Is now a 3v2 Infernape, and Runerigus versus the world. So Latias is hanging around in the back. Runerigus already proven to be the slowest thing here. Thank you. I did hydrate. Vacuum Wave going to get rid of the extra priority move. Rock Slide though, unfortunately, going to get the revenge kill. And there is the Earthquake from the Runerigus. Gets rid of the Gigalith. Is now a 1v1. But it is Latias, which you would expect to be the mega on this team of Rylacts. And I don't see, you know, this thing does like to run, you know, an Energy Ball or an Ice Beam, potentially Energy Ball. There it is. It's going to get rid of the Runerigus. And Rylac going to take this game number 1. Into game 2 we go then. Bully Boys on the back foot. Rylect, you know, with that advantage is Nidoqueen and Charjabug. This time Charjabug of course gets that battery ability, so it's going to give the, you know, attack buff to its partner. Tangela and Primarina kicking things off for the Bully Boys. Out comes the Rage Powder. There's the Sludge Bomb. Is it activate the Kibi Barrier? The Cradle hit is going to mean that the Tangela goes down. Water Pledge is going to get rid of the Nidoqueen. And Charjabug going for that Electro Web is going to drop the speed of the Primarina. Not that it needed its speed making any slower. Charjabug doing what it does best, buffing its, you know, buffing its friends. Vengabus is jumping, everybody pumping. Fake Out coming out from the Inferno, going to get blocked by that Latias. There's the Wild Charge. Oh, the Primarina just about hanging on, because Primarina not with the best defenses. Moonblast going to get blocked by that Protect. The double in not quite working there in the Bully Boys' favours. Is 1 mon apiece. You'd expect the Latias to go for its Mega this time round. That Primarina on really, really low HP. There is the Mega. As expected, Protect can come out from that Primarina. Fire Pledge, oh, not going to quite do enough to the Charjabug. Psychic going to take the Infernape right down to its sash. Electro Web going to get the job done though. Down it goes, and is now a 2v3. What is the final mon on the Bully Boys side? It is Mew. Got Mew, another mon with Fake Out potential there as well. But Primarina in a very, very tough spot now. It's proved to be slower than the Charjabug. It's on very, very low HP. You know, that goes down. It is a 1v3 scenario. Mew with it all to do. Psychic comes out. There it is. Gets the kill on the Primarina. F power on the Charjabug. Charjabug managing to tank it. Goes for the Bug Bite. It's going to get that super effective damage onto Mew, but not really doing too much. But Mew just unable to get the KO. I think either way this one is dead and gone. KO Canucks looking to get themselves on that board with a dub in week number 2. Both teams potentially are going to the 1-1 record. There is a Protect from the Charjabug. Energy Ball going to come out, going to take Mew below half HP. Reads the air power coming perfectly. Smart stuff there from Rylect. And you would think now really he can just safely switch in that Charjabug slot. Latias has got a free hit onto the Mew. It's going to be much faster. There is the switch in. Extra drill switches in. There's the Energy Ball. The Mew going to just about hang on for that and reveals the Ice Beam. Does a decent amount of damage, but nowhere near enough. And Latias going to be able to get the KO in this next turn with the Energy Ball. There it is. Canucks taking it in a 2-0 fashion. Bully Boys handed their first defeat of the season. The Canucks getting that first dub of the season. GG's to my man Rylex, the most handsome man in all of Canada. What could have been in that game number 1 with Renergus? We will never ever know. Never know. I'm not upset about it. I promise you I'm not upset about it. These aren't tears, it's my hay fever. Nah, man. Nah, played a really fun set there with Rylex. You roll the dice, it's what happens. I got lucky in week 1. It's only fair the luck reverses in week 2. Rylex very deserving of the win in the end, especially in that game 2. Played it really smart with switch-ins and gets his first win most deservedly. But guys, on to game number 5 of week 2. It is Scuba Squirtles taking on the Inglorious Surfers. Aaron, very surprisingly losing out in week number 1, something he's not done since season 1 of the TBPL. So it's been a long time since we saw that happen. So it's going to be looking to bounce back in this one, as you said earlier. Does have a history with Niels and the Scuba Squirtles. Got the dub over him back in season number 3. Yeah, got the win over him in season number 3. Obviously, a much different Inglorious Surfers team now than it was back then. And Niels, as said, of course, has been relegated and promoted back up since then. Yes, Aaron, I am bringing up season 1, game 1, turn 1. That you should all go watch on the YouTube channel. Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah, so we saw last week, we saw very much the Sun mode of this Inglorious Surfers team. Again, all the Sun mode here really synergizes well with it, with each other. You got the Lilligan Hisui, it's got the Chlorophyll ability, that really works well with Vulpix or potentially Sunny Day on that Lipad. Of course, Houndoom can mega and get that solar power ability procced, giving itself that buff to a special attack. And then, as you said, you've got Lipad, which has got that weather control, Vulpix, which has that weather control, and of course Cherrim as well has got that flower gift ability. It's going to give its allies that attack buff, more importantly. So yeah, a lot of Sun mode going on, but you've also got the Psy spam of Alakazam and Tapu Lele as well. Lele going to get that Psychic Terrain up. Alakazam and potentially its Mega mode is going to be just activated and it go burr. You've got good speed control options there as well, with the Dominion as well. Has got the Tailwind, has got Storm Drain. More importantly, you've got the slow mode going on the team as well. You've got Aegislash, Vulpix, Stoutland, things like that. They're going to work on the Trick Room. But the team mostly very fast. Your Alakazam, Lipad, Houndoom, all pretty speedy. Trick Room could be the way that Niels chooses to go with this team. As we saw last week, using that Zoroark Hisui and its disguise ability very well. Baited the fake out in, didn't reveal the disguise, and it was just able to go off. As its pseudo Braviary Hisui. It's also got the Enamorous Incarnate, as we mentioned last week. It's got physical and special attacking, and of course is that fairy flying type contrary ability on that thing as well. So if you've got that contrary ability procced, Enamorous in potentially a good position, but has got to deal with whatever is the attacking threat on the surface side coming up first. As again, good speeds across the board. Has got the fast mode with Enamorous, with Zoroark, with Braviary and Manectric, but you've got slow Pokemon there as well. Ditto, always an asset to any team it's on. Getting that transforming into something that's on your opponent's side, really going to benefit from that, having that on your team. If you're able to get the right switch in with that Ditto, you can really mess with your opponent. As we've seen Dogsy run, you either run Choice Scarf, Quick Claw on that thing, and can absolutely just cause complete mayhem. So yeah, very good bring there for the Squirtles if he chooses to bring the Ditto. Of course, I think only the one Mega potentially on that team. Of course, they've got the Manectric, which in when Megas gets that Intimidate ability, loses the Lightning Rod. So not exactly a whole lot of physical attack going on the Inglorious Surface side, but could lead itself well, and gets a decent amount of moves here that work very well. Gets Flamethrower, of course, gets Snarl as well, which could lead it work really well in this setup against Aaron and his Surface team. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop my blabbering. As always, let's get into this one. It is a Scuba Squirtles taking on Aaron and his Inglorious Surfers. So we're going to jump straight into turn 1, and it is Zam and Lele leading the line. And is it Enamorous with Ditto leading the line? Ditto has not transformed into Lele. Niels did accidentally bring the wrong Ditto to this game 1. Does fix that in game 2. We did agree to let him play out this one with the wrong Ditto, but just sort of accept it. Alakazam going to copy that Limber ability, goes the Expanding Force, down goes the Syrian Zoroark, down goes Ditto. Dazzling Gleam's going to fail on the Layla, and Aaron just flying into a 2-mon lead straight off the bat. And now in comes the actual Namorous and Braviary then. And very, very strong start there from Aaron. Alakazam just putting in the work. Those Expanding Forces really, really doing the job. Bravery going to resist, but Namorous goes down. Bravery going to take half damage from that Expanding Force and from the Shadow Ball that came from Lele. Aaron accidentally skipping the turn there, so we didn't quite see what happened. But all the same, you can see Bravery right down, and it looks like Zam and Lele are going to just get the job done. Nails with absolutely no answer to it. Dazzling Gleam going to get the job done, and Aaron taking the 1-0 lead into this one. Into game 2 we go, leading the same thing against Zam and Tapu Lele. Niels switching this up, has got the Braviary and Milotic. Is it actually Braviary? Is it actually Milotic? What is even real anymore? Who knows? Zam, of course, going for its Mega, gets sheer force now. Goes to the Expanding Force. Going to take Milotic right down 30%. Braviary going to cost tank that. Thunderbolt going to take Bravery down 24%. Muddy Water going to get the critical hit on the Alakazam, and it's going to drop its accuracy more importantly, but Ominous Wind from the Bravery is going to get rid of it, and Niels now with the Mon advantage. And in comes the Lipad, Proxy Psychic Siege, which it looks like it's going to be unburdened Lipad then. So you can see Aaron hovering over that sunny day option on his Lipad. Good amount of support moves on the Lipad. It's why people run Prankster, but with Psychic Terrain being up, of course, you don't really want to do that, as the Throat Chopper is going to get rid of the Bravery. Gets a one down. Thunderbolt is going to get rid of the Milotic, and now all of a sudden is a 2v3. This is completely flipped around in Aaron's favour. This, this Psychic Terrain mode really working out this week against Niels, and now in comes the Manectric and Manectric? What is going on? Which one is the real one? One, of course, will be Zoroark Asiri. The other one, the actual Manectric. Is Niels going to go for the Mega and reveal which one is which, or is he going to keep them the same? I agree. I think Alakazam should be banned. And look at Hisui is going to switch in. There goes the Mega from the Manectric. So the one on the right is Zoroark Hisui. There's the play rough. That's going to break the illusion and drop the attack of the Zoroark as well. Because the Thunderbolt from Manectric is decent damage to Lipad, despite the Psychic Sea going up and Snarl. Going to drop the special attack on both Lipad and Lilligant here. But they're both physical attackers. Lilligant does have the attack drop, as does Lipad. Flanks that into him from Manectric though. Zoroark taking a big hit there from that player. Of course, Lipad, no, you don't typically see the physical. Sunny Day going to come out. There's the Sleep Power from Lilligant, so the Chlorophyll is activated. Manectric goes to sleep. Dark Pulse, not going to do too much to Lipad, just going to resist that. Psychic Terrain, one more turn to go, but Lilligant now going to be the fastest thing known to man with that Sun being activated. It's just going to prance and dance around the field. Manectric now taking a long ass nap under the sun. There's the Throat Chop. It's going to activate the Colbur Berry on Zoroark. Zoroark going to hang on that, but the Leaf Blade goes to the double in, hoping for the Manectric to stay asleep, which it does. And now it's a 1v3 for Niels. He's got it all to do in this game to try and bring it back, but I would say Aaron has got it in the bag Throat Chop there going to come out from the Lipad, and the Leaf Blade's going to take Manectric right down to just quarter of a HP. Comes out the Flame Frost there. That's going to get rid of the Lilligant. That's the only downside of Lilligant. Works under the sun, but one fire move and that thing is dead now. In switches in. The Lillard's going to get the Psychic Terrain back up. But this one is going to be Mr. T. Marshalls. He's going to get himself that win on the board. Neil's now going to the 1-1 record. Throat Chop going to get the job done. Lipad taking names. And there we have it then. Aaron T. Marshall with the 2-0 over Niels and his Scuba Squirtles. GG's to both players. That Psychic Terrain and Sun mode really, really strong for Aaron there. And Niels just with no answer to it, especially in that game one. There's expanding forces from Mega Alakazam. Absolutely broken. Crazy. And, you know, Zora Akasui threatened to mess with that. The two Manectrics on the field even messed with my head. Even though I've seen that, obviously the video footage, I was still very confused as to what was going on there. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot it was a thing. But yeah, Aaron with a 2-0 win gets himself one on the board. On to the final match of the week, and it is Dr. Dave and his Crymych Coalossals taking on Lumaris and their Deimos Deoxys. Of course, Deimos Deoxys getting the win over the aforementioned Aaron T. Marshall in week 1. So Lumaris is going to be looking to build on that week 1 win and get, you know, move themselves to 2-0, keep those wins coming. Dr. Dave got to try and get himself on that board. You know, losing out in week 1 to, you know, to me, you know, bit of a baptism of fire. You know, obviously Dr. Dave made it through the relegation playoff gauntlet last season with a bit of a point to prove. And already not starting out in the best way, but you know, maybe this is the one to bring himself back into it. You know, is he going to employ that Gothitelle strat again? That Gothitelle strat was absolutely insane. Of course, we saw it going for the Cosmic Powers, Weakness Policy get procced, and it go for that stored power. Unfortunately, you know, Dark types do tend to threaten that strat working. Greninja being something that could threaten that. Of course, if it is the Protein Greninja, then potentially Deimos and Lumaris could get caught in a little bit of a, you know, position, and Gothitelle could start getting the kills. But you know, while that thing stays Dark type, or if, you know, if it goes for its Ash Greninja form, or just isn't Protein, then Gothitelle is going to struggle to take that thing out. You know, other things going on this team though, you know, we saw Ampharos make an appearance last week, and of course it's got a Oranguru there as well, you know, not only for Trick Rooms, you know, I think it's Yawn, it's got Brutal Swing to potentially proc that Weakness Policy on Gothitelle more importantly, and of course has got those instructs which are going to work really well under Trick Room. You know, you've got the likes of, you know, Gliscor going to work really well in Trick Room. We saw Moltres Galar with the Room service last week, you know, to work under Trick Room, and then Paulion as well. You know, decent Trick Room one going on there. You know, a bit of a difficult team to prep for, I think, on Dr. Dave's side against his Deimos Deoxys team. You know, has got that Grass Water, Fire type, you know, core going on in the team. You know, has got a good Follow Me Pokemon in Jirachi, more importantly. And a very strong Trick Room setter in Aromatisse. This thing is incredibly bulky, as well as Meowstic as well. You know, one of, if not the best, prankster Pokemon in the game is Meowstic. Gets access to a whole host of status moves that can really just absolutely screw your opponent. And you know, do not sleep on that Minior as well. You know, that thing can catch you off guard with a Shell Smash. This thing can really sweep, as you know, have we seen Long Island Goomies do a couple of seasons ago. And, you know, you've also got the Landorus Incarnate there as well. You know, that sheer force ability, you know, can run as a physical or special attacker more importantly. And, you know, that thing can be really, really strong in the right scenario. Of course, does have that 4-time Ice type weakness you've got to be careful of, but all the same, very, very strong. But, anyway, guys, last match of the evening, last match of this week's show. Let's get into this one. Crymych Coalossals taking on Deimos Deoxys. So, Lumaris with the Meowstic, Jirachi, Greninja, Landorus, Aromatisse, and Steelix then. So Steelix potentially the Mega there. And Dr. Dave leading the line. This looks very familiar, doesn't it? With the Gothitelle and the Oranguru has got the Empoleon, Gliscor, Galar, Moltres, and Comfey in the back then. So switching it up with the Mons in the back. But there is the Fake Out from the Meowstic, going to stop the Gothitelle doing what it wants to do. Greninja goes for the Dark type move into Oranguru, which is going to go for the Trickers. Greninja now with that Dark typing. And Trick Room now up for Dr. Dave. This is where he's going to be comfortable. This is where I feel, you know, works best. In comes the Empoleon then. Thunderwave though going to come out into that Gothitelle. Going to go for its Cosmic Power, so no Paralysis this time. Darple's going to come out, so good read there from Dr. Dave. Empoleon's still taking a big chunk of damage there from that Dark Pulse on Greninja. But it's already begun. Is Gothitelle going to start going with us? Unfortunately, 2 months, opposite him, that are really going to resist that stored power thing. Meowstic, of course, with that Psychic type is going to resist stored power. Paralysis going to proc this turn with the Gothitelle. Greninja, of course, when it is Dark type, is also going to resist that stored power too. But, very, very risky. You get caught out, you're trying to work around that thing, and, you're not going to do anything to it. There goes the Cosmic Power again. Agility coming out from the Empoleon, very interesting, while we're still under Trick Room. There's the Dark Pulse though, is going to get rid of the Empoleon, and Lumaris gets the first kill of the game then. And now in switches in Gliscor. So Gliscor, we saw this work really well on the Space City PC team last season with that Poison Heal ability. Can go for Protect or Substitute, keep healing itself each turn, and just either start Swords Dancing or just causing complete mayhem, healing itself up. Paralysis is going to proc again on the Gothitelle. Substitute comes out. It's going to take damage from that Psychic, but not going to break. Out comes the Toxic Poison, and then Gliscor going to be able to start healing itself. So far, though, Dr. Dave unable to do any damage to Greninja and Meowstic. We are 6 turns in, and Meowstic and Greninja haven't been touched yet. Dark Pulse is going to break that Substitute though, and the Psychic going to do a little bit of damage away to it. That gets the Toxic Poison off. Cosmic Power does indeed go off this time for Gothitelle, and now it's finally some damage going off into Lumaris' side. Had a very, very comfortable 6 turns there. Just slowly been watching this Gothitelle, Cosmic Power up, and Gliscor going for the protection, going to protect itself there, going to get some HP back. Cosmic Power goes with 3 times defense and 3 times special defense now. This Gothitelle is going to be unbreakable without a critical hit. Is he going to get the strat off this time? He's got to do something to that Greninja at least for it to work, I would think. Rango now switching in for the Gliscor. Sees the Ice Beam coming. It's a great read there from Dr. Dave, but the Rango is going to take the hit and go down. It takes the protein damage. Psychic doing all of 4% damage. Stored Power finally comes off, but it holds up the red card. And oh no! And Gothitelle switches out thanks to that red card, the fabled TBPL red card. Gothitelle loses all of those stat boosts, and now it's going to switch back in without the Cosmic Power boost. Is still paralyzed. Oh. How galling. Protect comes out from the Gliscor now. That's again another thing 4 times. Of course that thing is 4 times with ice. Double in comes out, and Dave does get the Cosmic Power up, at least leftovers. Going to take that thing back up to full HP. Toxic now really starting to do the work into Greninja. Protect coming out from this. He's got the double Protect then on the Gliscor. Psychic gonna not do too much into Gothitelle, but Gothitelle gonna take the paralysis. It swings around as well, so it gets a double Protect, but gets the paralysis on the Gothitelle. Greninja, you would think it's gonna maybe go down this next turn to the toxic damage unless Lumaris switches it out. Keep it around, hanging around for a little bit longer. Protect. And he gets the triple Protect on Gliscor. For the first time in TBPL history, we get a triple Protect, but gets a double paralysis on the Gothitelle. You just couldn't make it up. Greninja going to go down to the toxic damage. We are now at 2v3. In switches in the Landorus Incarnate then. And now Gliscor. Is he going to get a quadruple Protect? Does Dr. Dave dare go for it? No Ice Beam now, awaiting it, but Helping Hand to come out from that. Meowstic goes for the Rock Slide, gets a good amount of damage to both sides, and Substitute coming the way of Gliscor. Triple paralysis coming out from Gothitelle. Gothitelle going to get some of that damage back from leftovers, and of course Poison Heal, keeping that Gliscor nice and healthy. Psychic going to fade that Substitute though. There is the Rock Slide. Toxic going to come out now from the Gliscor, and Gothitelle slowly but surely getting those defense buffs back up again. Poison Heal going to get the Gliscor back up to 30% too. Very much a game of attrition this one. Dr. Dave trying to just stall Lumaris out. We're on 10. Number 14. There's the Earth Power. Oh, Gothitelle takes a major. Gets the paralysis again. Is that quadruple paralysis now? This thing just hasn't moved in like a whole century. Helping Hand coming out coming out the way that Gothitelle's good read there from Dr. Dave to keep it protected. Earthquake now from the Gliscor. Not going to quite do enough to Meowstic. Of course, Landorus going to be immune to ground type moves. Helping Hand again, so Lumaris just spamming the Helping Hand, does get the kill on Gothitelle. Now is all up to the Gliscor, goes behind the substitute, and Landorus slowly but surely going down that toxic damage. Dr. Dave going to be trying to stall out that toxic damage now. And now in comes Aromatisse Protect coming out from the Gliscor. Going to block that Psychic, going to get some of that HP back. Psychic only going to do some damage to substitute. Gets the Toxic off into Meowstic. Moonblast is going to fade the substitute at least, but Gliscor getting that HP back slowly but surely. Goes for the Protect again. Good stuff there from Dr. Day, but out comes Heal Pulse from Aromatisse and does all that work onto Meowstic in just one clean swoop. Gliscor with it all to do is in a 1v3. Has got Protect still going for it, has got Substitute still going for it. Gotta just try and tox up because that Landorus with that toxic damage. Has got to eventually start going for damage moves. Goes to the Psychic. Out comes the Earthquake. Meowstic can take a decent hit from that Moonblast. Coming out from Aromatisse, he's going to take the Gliscor down 23%. Meowstic almost down from that Toxic, but potentially if Lumaris can make a good read here, could see a Protect coming and go for that Heal Pulse. Keep Meowstic in this game for a little while longer. On 10, number 21. There is the Protect. Goes to Psychic just in case he doesn't. Heal Pulse going to get Meowstic right back up. Meowstic going to go right back down to half HP. Thanks to that toxic damage. You are on a bit of a time once Toxic goes off. There's a Psychic. There's the Earthquake. Meowstic going to just about hang on. Moonblast is going to get the job done. And Lumaris takes game number 1. What an absolute slog of a game 1. Are we going to see a similar thing in game number 2? I would definitely expect so. Keki, please don't redeem for Femboy Swear. I don't have the scare anymore. Lumaris kicking these off with the Jirachi and Meowstic the sound switching things up, and Dave also switching them up. Has gone for the Oranguru and the Galar Moltres. So Galar Moltres in a very strong position here. Could go for the attack into either Jirachi or Meowstic here. Meowstic, you would expect a fake out into that Galar Moltres this first turn out. There is the fake out. Oranguru takes the Iron Head hit, doesn't get flinch, and does indeed get the Trick Room up. It isn't room service Galar Moltres this time round. Are we going to see the Fiery Wrath coming out from Galar Moltres? And more importantly, is it going to be able to do enough damage to Jirachi and Meowstic? Gothitelle going to now switch in. That Trick Room Greninja now switching in as well. There's the Iron Head from Jirachi. Good read. The dire Fiery Wrath comes out. Jirachi takes half damage from that. Jirachi, of course, one of the mythicals with 100 base stats across the board. So, is of course quite bulky, especially in the HP department. But good switch out there from Lumaris. Out comes the fake out from Gothitelle. Iron Head coming the way of Jirachi from they get the flinch onto the big Raven. The Galar Moltres Greninja, of course, going to be flinched from that fake out. 2 more turns of Trick Room to go. So slowly but surely burning through the turns of Trick Room. Out comes the Protect from the Galar Moltres, and there is the Cosmic Powers. Of course, Iron Head going to get blocked by that Protect as the Ice Beam and take Time Greninja into Ice type. But the double in, I think Lumaris maybe thinking he can just leave this this Gothitelle alone, really, because its stored power is not going to be doing very much to Greninja or Jirachi. And now it switches in the Oranguru. Maybe Dr. Dave anticipating the opportunity to be able to go for that Trick Room again once it bends this time round. There is the Dark Pulse. Is it going to be enough to take out Oranguru? Gets a critical hit. Down goes Oranguru, so no Trick Room. There's the Iron Head from Jirachi. No flinches this time, but another Cosmic Power coming out from Gothitelle. Leftovers almost healing it up, back up to full HP. And now Lumaris with the 1-1 advantage. In comes the Galar Moltres. Dark Pulse coming out into the Gothitelle, just a decent damage. Fiery Wrath. Oh, Jirachi just about hanging on. Goes to the Icy Wind, trying to drop those speeds of the Galar Moltres. Of course, Gothitelle already weak, but does proc the weakness policy. Gothitelle, oh, it just gets it wrong. You know, working around a Greninja, of course, not going to take any hits from that, immune to that psychic typing. But Galar Moltres now with that weakness policy proc, so it's going to be very important for Lumaris to take that thing out. Protect coming out from the Galar Moltres. It's a double protect. Follow Me coming out from Jirachi. There's the Ice Beam from Greninja. Follow Me coming out now. There's the Ice Beam. Gets it. It's going to take out Galar Moltres now. A 4v2. The Gothitelle now with 3 times defense. It's been special defense. And 2v4. This is all uphill for Dr. Dave. In comes the Comfey now then. Text coming out from the Greninja, going to change it to normal typing. There's the Giga Drain, not going to quite do enough to Jirachi. Goes to the Iron Head. Oh, that Comfey's taking a big hit from that. Gothitelle almost at max defense and special defense at this point. Kind of ridiculous, not going to lie. Comfey going to be going for those floral healings, but has he got synthesis to heal itself up? Those Iron Heads going to do a lot of damage draining because not quite doing enough. Of course, Greninja not changing typing, goes to the Dark Pulse. That's not going to do too much damage to Comfey, but Iron Head though is going to, oh, it takes Comfey down to 1%. There's the stored power, does at least get the kill this time, takes out Jirachi, is now a 2v3. In comes Meowstic now. Protect now on the Comfey. Blocks the fake out smash stuff. There's the Dark Pulse though. Not really doing all that much to Gothitelle. There's the stored power into Meowstic. Almost takes down to half HP. The stored power strat is just insane. It's ridiculous, man. He's gonna come up against someone without a dark typing and just wreck through them with Gothitelle. There's a Draining Kiss from Comfey. Psychic gonna get rid of it now in a 1v3. Stored power again. Meowstic just about hanging on. Of course, red card not going to work with no mons to switch into, so at least Dave doesn't lose all of that work he's put into it. Out because the Dark Pulse again does 25% damage. It's going to get some of that back from leftovers. Of course, going to take that flinch as well from the Dark Pulse. He's paralyzed as well, just to rub salt into the wounds. There is a helping hand from Meowstic. Goes for the protect onto the Gothitelles, and Lumaris just trying to get this one finished now before we end up on 10-25 again. Helping hand coming out from the Meowstic. There's the Dark Pulse. Does a little bit more this time. Gets the flinch more importantly. The leftovers proccing again, taking Gothitelle almost back up to full to half HP. Sorry, but still not quite doing enough. Lumaris is just going to keep chipping away at it with his helping hand. Dark Pulse goes for the protect now, trying to get some more of that HP back. I'm not too sure what Dr. Dave's trying to achieve here. Oh, it's just about hanging on. Goes to stop power. Is now going to get rid of Meowstic. So gets 2 kills this game, but it's just got nothing to hit the Greninja. So this one is going to be done. Lumaris going to take the 2-0 and move to 2-0 in the season as well. More importantly, does reveal the Mega on the Steelix as well, which goes for the Curse. The Curse gets its attack and defense buff, but this one is overall the same. Dark Pulse not going to get the job done, but Steelix. Oh, Steelix doesn't get the job done even with the paralysis procs on the Gothitelle. Somehow, some way, this Gothitelle manages to live through that turn, but surely this turn it's going to be over. There it is. Greninja gets the kill. Lumaris with the 2-0. What a slog that game was. Poor Lumaris. trying to deal with that. But yeah, absolutely insane that got the Telstra. Unfortunate on day's end. GG's to both players. As you said, Lumaris getting his second win in a row under his belt, starting off very strong in his debut season. But let's take a quick look at the league table, what those matches mean for said table. At the top there, flying high is Miami Heat, sat on 2-0, plus 4 game difference, has not dropped a game yet. Followed closely behind Skary Skrelp and Deimos Deoxys, both on the +3 game difference, sorry, I'm thinking we're commentating football now. And then follows at least 6 teams, all on the 1-for-1 record. Aaron just sitting atop of them with that +1, thanks to that 2-1 loss in week 1. Everyone else 1-for-1 +0. Then we get down to 10th place, which is California Bastiodons on 0-2 -3. And at the bottom there, it is both of the Daves, Crymych Coalossals and Newcastle Thunderers on 0-2 -4. So both the Daves not starting out how they would want to after, you know, finishing in that relegation playoff last season. So they've got one hell of a job to do. But yeah, Miami Heat, Skary Skrelp, Deimos Deoxys setting the early pace in the TBPL Premier Division. Very exciting stuff. But guys, that is going to do it from me this week. You can catch us once again next week for the week 3 action right here on this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/British Pokemon League. You can catch the rerun of the show later on in the week on YouTube, so keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, you can catch the Championship show as well on Wednesday around about the 7 PM, 7:30 PM mark with the host Aaron T. Marshall. So look forward to that one for all the Championship Week 2 action. But I'm going to bid all of you goodbye and good night. Farewell. Mwah.